All right, and we are live with No Carnival Parking, number 14. I know that we posted that we were going on Tuesday or Monday, and then you got Nick Gore instead. So we apologize for making you sit through Nick Gore instead of Sam Tripoli. I know you guys are excited, but we came through. It wasn't bullshit. So we are brought to you by nobody right now. We have no sponsors, so we're brought to you by ourselves, and we're very proud of that. We're going to bring up, let me get rid of this off the screen here. We're going to bring up the first person on here that's allowed to speak. Mike Romanelli, what's up?
What's up, everybody? Can't wait for this podcast. It's going to be a good one.
I have allowed you to speak.
Thank you for letting me speak, Clint. Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
You're welcome. Next up is our other co-host. He usually does some musical type stuff. Henry Suarez. What's
Hello.
up? Oh, I haven't been using our song.
That's me.
That's it. That was all you needed? All right.
That's all I needed. I'm good. I'm
All
good
right.
to go.
All right. And the man that you guys, a lot of you, I feel like since Mike went on this guy's podcast and mentioned me, I feel like a member of Menudo, but like a member of Menudo now. Like, so just get recognized every once in a while. But before that, I wasn't anybody. So everybody, give it up for Sam Tripoli.
What up?
I noticed that like you had me muted and I'm just like, oh, he muted me. And then I saw that there was a mute button down here and I pressed it and I unmuted myself. And I'm like everybody wearing masks for no reason. You're like, I'm just doing it because somebody told me to wear it. And I'm like muted. I'm like, I gotta wait till he gets through this fucking lineup of Latinos before he gets to me.
It's all Ginzos and one Latino.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, it's all Esposito, Romanelli, and Suarez. And Tripoli.
Yeah.
Come on.
And-
It's
and
all.
That's true, dude. That's true. Three guineas and a fucking spit. I love
I'm
it.
half
Yeah,
Italian. I'm half
Exactly.
Italian.
Okay, I like that. Yeah, it's all the same though.
We're
Exactly.
Not, we don't have a thing going over here or anything. It's totally coincidence.
You're not from Jersey,
Yeah.
We are actually.
where everybody's Italian, even if they're not Italian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even the Spanish kid's Italian.
Exactly.
So here's some news I just found out, brother, that the Sycamore Tavern's closing pretty much for good, dude.
Oh no.
Yeah, dude. Our little dojo area is now down, and so might have to find a new location, figure that out. But that's just like, dude, it's just another thing down for no reason. It's just like no reason.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. I'm watching these videos of like people yelling at people with no masks on, like cops like beating the shit out of Puerto Rican moms.
Yeah. You see that
They
one?
have no fucking mask. I'm like, what world are we like now? You know how, like, whenever you remember you were young and you look back on Nazi Germany, you're like, how did they let that happen? Now you see it happening like in real time.
Yep.
It's unbelievable. You got five fucking cops throttling this Puerto Rican chick in front of her kids. And
in front of her kid.
And like, you're like, where's protect and serve right there? You fucking pieces of shit.
That's all in search for their quota. I was thinking that. I was like, how do you get these people? Like, if you're like a cop, you're like, fuck you, we're not going to do that. And then I was like, oh, they probably have to give out a certain amount of like social distancing tickets a month.
I was like, I'm thinking the same thing. It's like, I said to my partner at the restaurant today, I was like,
is that you?
Let's
just
just
married?
Let's just open. Like, fuck it. But then I'm like, the problem is if somebody calls on us, they have to respond. And you can't get too mad at them because they're following. But how long are they going to follow? Because when you talk to them off duty, most of them, they don't want to follow it. I mean, the guy's punching the fucking Puerto Rican girl in the subway. They obviously really want to fucking follow it hard because you're punching someone in the face.
Well, there's a small, I don't know what percentage of cops are psychopaths, but that's every group. And they just are psychopaths. And the rest of them are good people who just like want to make $1, get a check, sell illegal drugs on the side, bang a stripper on the side of their wife, and they're just normal people. But the rest of them are just like there's this small group of psychopaths who just get in it to crack skulls.
Yeah, or they got their skulls cracked their whole life, and now it's time to get revenge.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm like, what am I watching right now? Like, you know what the biggest problem in this country is? How arrogant people are about their ignorance. That blows me away. Like how confident they are about how dumb they are.
Yeah,
that's
I can't agree more.
to me.
On both sides of the fence too.
Well, true, but
it doesn't matter what your argument is when you're just steadfast in it. It's just like I'm a fucking idiot and I'm sticking to my guns.
All right, let's go to the end of the interview. But yes, that's true. I mean, that's it, right?
How that should be a show. How passionate can you debate a subject that you know nothing about?
Or how passionate are you about something and then you realize something's wrong, but you still don't give a fuck because you don't want to be right about the subject you put your whole life into, which makes me think like that's what free thinking and just is all about. It's like we're not married to anything.
Like apocalyptic, end of day religious shitheads are up to. Like,
yeah,
these fucking Christians and these Jews, and they're just like, come on, end of days. I've been dude, I've been waiting here forever. I'm like, fucking, I look like Gandalf the White Wizard. Time's coming up. Come on, Rapture, let's go. I put all my eggs into this basket.
Like I want Bill Gates to have the microchip.
Yeah.
Revelations told me I was gonna get the microchip. Give it to me, motherfucker.
Beast.
Mark me, bitch. You know?
Dude, you ever see videos of like all these old rabbis going up to Netanyahu? It's like, dude, come on, dude, get the party started, dude. It's like I'm fucking 80 right now.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's just do it.
There's not a lot of time left.
You know, I mean, that's the whole problem about this. And you know what, Sam? It's funny. We're going back. I had some notes, and we're going backwards on what I want to talk to you about. But that's okay.
Oh, I brought my notes.
But that's all right.
We're gonna do this. This is gonna be like the docu-series, The Last Dance, that just jumps from a year to year for no fucking reason, other than just to feel like they're creatively jerking themselves off.
Well,
you're like
for us, it's gonna be because we have ADD.
94. Like what? Why are we doing this? I'll shut up.
No, you don't have to shut up. But my whole thing is this shill thing, right? That's the whole thing in our movement, or anyone who's just thinking, is that now splintered in our movement is the shill. Everyone's a shill.
Oh, everybody's a shill. I just had this woman on my Patreon. Her name, she goes by Amy Says What WTF, and she does great research. Like she only has like 1,000 followers on YouTube, but she's gonna be that Amazing Grace chick or the Truth Factory. And dude, she's only got 1,000 subscribers, and they're like, "You're a shill. You're working for the government." I get called all the time. I had this guy come on and tell me I purposely deleted my channel so I could get subscribers on Patreon. I go, how many Patreon subscribers do you think I had? Because I had them on. I call it, state your case, make your case for me being a shill. And I go, how many subscribers do you think I had? He goes, I don't know. I go, 1,200. Does that sound like a number you sell out to the CIA for? Yeah. If like, what am I selling my soul at the 99-cent store? Like, what are we doing here?
Which
I was expecting Katy Perry like numbers.
Right?
Why do I have 1,100 subscribers? You fucks.
Imagine selling your soul and getting nothing,
dude. If you are in front of people or have any type of platform at all, they automatically think that you're rich. Like followers doesn't, or whatever, even fame doesn't automatically equal money, which people don't really get that, especially in some industries, you know?
Well, it is that like there's a lot of people in this industry that in the genre of conspiracies that work very hard and just can't get any followers. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
And they don't understand it. They're like, why? And it's got to be some dark arts reason.
Right.
I even do it with my special. Like, I love my special. I can't get anybody to watch it. So I want to convince myself that it's YouTube shadow banning my special. Like Mark Norman, who's so fucking funny, puts it out and in like 2 hours, he's got 250,000 people watching. Great comic. Not taking anything away from him.
Yeah.
Wonderfully well-written comic. Love everything he does. Retweets him all the time. I love my special. I can't get my mom to watch it.
It is great. Everyone should watch it.
I mean, dude, I got some fucking shit. I'm like, I watch it. I'm like, that's well, like every line's fine. Like, I just nothing.
Yeah, but back to the truth, whatever you want to call it,
enough
conspiracy.
about me crying.
Do you
Is
want-
that
No,
what
no,
you're
Do
saying?
you want to back this up?
No, but
Mike?
back to that. It's like if everyone really wants to make a difference, we got to stop fighting each other. It's fucking
For sure.
ridiculous.
We need
It's
to
so
start
ridiculous.
at the beginning. We need to wrangle you guys in, Mike. You guys are getting
All
fired
right.
up.
You want to go back to? I mean, because Sam, the
Everybody's a shill, basically. Anyone successful
Thank you for
is a
admitting it.
shill.
Thank you for admitting it.
the whole
Everybody.
the whole point of no carnival parking is we're just trying to help other people get the courage.
You know what? That's what a shill would say.
Yeah, we're trying to get them. We're trying to get them to drink fluoride. Make sure you brush your teeth with fluoride toothpaste, and get the vaccine. No, really. But what we do in this podcast is we try to. We always say if we could change one person to say fuck this job and get the fuck out and get into the carny life, like we're all part of with restaurants and DJing and moto, and you as a comic and Clint is a comic too.
Dude, that carnival life is rough, dog.
It's rough, but it's better than being in a fucking cubicle, right?
Yeah, it is rough, but it's like Tiger King minus the stability of a tiger zoo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, yes.
All
Without
that
the
shit minus a place called home.
Tigers.
I mean, it's all the meth without the tigers. Yes.
My buddy Mike Costa, who's on the Daily Show, he's like, tell me the difference between Last Dance and the Tiger King. I'm like, a couple $1 billion and a ton of gay sex. That's what the difference is. How do you say those are even close to the same thing? They're just completely dumb. This guy is like flipping straight dudes, getting them tweaking on meth, and none of them had teeth yet. Imagine getting a BJ from that dude with like four, like his mouth looks like a haunted fence, right? There's like 4 fucking teeth left. Just it's got like one tooth. How do you blow somebody with one tooth?
So
and he's not gay.
You're talking about The Last Dance, right? Like this is all about Phil Jackson?
Yes, like fucking Scottie Pippen had one tooth.
Okay. So Phil Jackson, man, he knew what he was doing. Had these guys smoking meth, blowing each other.
Yeah.
Bill Cartwright was just the hand job master, allegedly.
Master, dude.
I'm so retarded. I'm so retarded this whole time. I thought you were talking about the movie with the white girl dances with the black guy.
What movie is that?
Back when we were kids in the 90s. There's something with the Last
in the
Dance.
90s, that didn't happen.
Julia.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were talking about this whole time.
Remember, she was like, she only did movies where she banged black guys. It was like interracial porn before there was interracial porn. I remember at one point the government made it so like porn companies could only do like so much interracial porn. They're like, no, you can't release black dicks on everybody.
Yeah. They were so against it.
You have to trickle the black dicks out.
It's hilarious.
Okay.
Speaking of black dicks, Scottie Pippen supposedly had like a fucking redwood for a root, and like everybody, like, dude, that's why Jordan was so pissed because he couldn't beat him in that one. And supposedly Scottie Pippen's kid had a bigger dick than Michael Jordan's kid, and they're like, dude, that's why Jordan drinks to this day. Because he couldn't win that fucking battle.
Because Pippen's
like
son just had him
every
beat.
fucking thing.
No shit.
It's the one demon that haunts him to this day.
Like, that guy's got big root, bro. Like, you ever see him like he has that Werewolf in London hand where it just goes up and then turn? You ever see that? Yeah. Werewolf in London, bam! And like that's Scottie Pippen's hand. You know who else got that? Kawhi Leonard's got that fucking werewolf hand.
Odell Beckham Jr. has that too. He's got some kind of disease where his fucking fingers like wrap over the top. That's why he can catch a football. It's no one's business.
All those crazy
that
things.
Dude
and
is
jerk
the
off.
Carmelo Anthony of the NFL.
Absolutely, best description I've ever heard.
He never makes anybody better. Ever.
Never.
And dude, everybody's talking about Carmelo Anthony I love how you guys have a set of questions, and I'm like, I'm just gonna talk.
That's okay.
Shut up.
Go.
Get
That's
out of
fine.
my way. No, okay.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
I am the Carmelo Anthony of podcasting.
Yeah,
Right?
it's fine.
Okay.
I come on your show, whip my dick around, I score 53
Dude,
points.
I
And
do
then I tell you to
ISO
fuck
ball,
your
and
mother.
I'm just
That's fine.
dribbling.
Go for it. Go for it.
forever, and I'm never asking
just-
you guys a question. I just
I'm just crossing
Keep
over.
going.
You're like,
Keep
yeah,
going.
dude, there's
What was that question you wanted to ask me?
I'm the
just
reason they put
crossing
a
over.
shot clock in podcasting.
There was we had Bob Levy 2 shows ago, so he pretty much
Yeah,
did
we're
the
all
same
good.
thing.
You guys are. Yeah, it's all good.
So everybody's talking about Carmelo Anthony in the fucking Hall of Fame. Dude, if Carmelo Anthony should be in the Hall of Fame, Robert Horry should be in the Hall of Fame way before Carmelo Anthony. That guy won 8 rings, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, I hate Nike, by the way, and I hate Adam Silver. Listen, to the tens of people that listen to this podcast, okay?
Tens.
Let me just
Dozens.
fucking tell you something. Fuck Adam Silver's Bat Boy head, okay? Fuck him, Bat Boy from fucking National Geographic. You remember National Enquirer back in the day? Would have Bat Boy, right? Had that
Real
fucking
journalism.
dude. What's that?
He said real journalism.
Real journalism.
Oh,
Yeah.
my grandma used to keep it in the shitter. We used to read it all the time. How
Bro,
funny is that?
Back when
Like-
journalism meant something.
Yeah. Dude, I mean, Adam Silver has sold out. He is the worst commissioner in an era of god awful commissioners. Can you ever remember where every commissioner is hated?
They're all pretty fucking bad right now.
There's not outside of MLS, because I don't know who run. I don't know anything about that. It seems to be growing exponentially. Outside that, every commissioner is hated by
Oh yeah,
by the fans. Hated. It wasn't like that before.
yeah. I mean, Roger Goodell, they fucking hate him.
We hate
Hate 'em.
everybody with power
and they
now.
only keep that guy around because he just makes bank for everybody. Like, he just makes money hand over fist.
Well, I mean,
But-
dude, you could put fucking Bozo the Clown in there. It's the NFL.
Yeah.
And who's hockey? Bettman, and then
Batman,
and
they hate
that- and-
Batman.
yeah, and
Manafort's
MLB's
a piece of shit.
Manfred. That guy's the fucking worst.
And then Adam Silver is the worst out of all of them because he gets praised at how good he is. Ratings are down, revenue's down, and he sold his country out to China. He's the worst of the worst.
The China
Right.
thing was crazy, but
Bro-
Stern was pretty bad before him. No.
Yeah, but he at least like the league kept growing.
Yeah.
And he was there for the golden age of basketball.
Yeah, and I
mean,
stopped watching
That guy
sports, but-
oversaw Stern.
Do you know
so
the
ever.
only conspiracy I ever believed in that I stopped believing in was Michael Jordan got kicked out of the NBA for gambling.
You stopped believing it?
I don't believe that anymore.
No.
After
Yeah,
watching
you-
this thing,
Okay.
That's actually a funny question. That was one of the questions I was gonna have for you was, is there a conspiracy that you used to be so sure of back in the day that now you're like, there's no way possible? Second part, what was one of the first conspiracies that really got you going besides, Santa Claus isn't real? We all know that was the real first
the first one was probably
that really got the
like
juices going.
JFK, obviously.
Fucking A. All
And
right.
then as a very young guy, I was talking about this the other day. I remember listening to 2 girls in my class, and I'm from upstate New York, and so there was a blend of like middle American kids, middle income kids, and trash, just trash. And I remember watching these 2 girls who were trash. They were just from a bad set. And I don't hate it. I don't mean anything. I mean, obviously, I don't mean it negative. I call them trash. But I mean, they were just
with all
they
due
were
respect,
just
you're a piece
fucking
of trash.
they were shady as shit, right? And they were talking about how they thought Charles Manson had gotten set up, that he didn't really do it, and they made him take the fall. And I
That's
totally
awesome.
believe that,
Oh, I believe that one, 1000%.
without
Yeah.
doubt.
I mean, come on, they call that before all this extra CIA mind control shit came out. They were calling him a mass murderer, and he might have killed one person.
He
Maybe killed the
technically
drug
didn't kill anybody.
Yeah, and he didn't even kill him. He shot the drug dealer. But
And
back
then
then,
there's
He had
listen,
other
dude.
people kill him.
maybe.
And then
Allegedly.
there's weird shit about did anyone actually get killed, and that's weird shit.
Dude, I listened to that book That's some crazy shit. I mean, that's my shit. I love the psychedelic revolution. Like I am into all that shit and the mind control. And it sucks because I love that whole era, and I took it hook, line, and sinker, and I realized it was all a game. It was all bullshit. I mean, the Grateful Dead's one of my favorite bands, and they were literally set up to kill the hippie movement.
Well, and they were also there to distribute the LSD.
The LSD, yeah.
Making.
So what happened was, right, you had this movement going on where they were about to change something, the hippie movement, right? They were, and there's a lot of plants, a lot of shills in there. But then you had the Dead come; they were just giving out the acid Kool-Aid. And I still listen to the Dead all the time. I love the music. I just disassociate. Like when you hear a good Michael Jackson song, and you're like, you know what?
It's my opinion on Robert De Niro. Like I have to.
Exactly.
I have to basically detach from. He's probably a pedophile. I just, Robert De Niro to me, I only take like Taxi Driver. Like that's that movie I have to hold on to. Everything after that, The Great Con is, I know I'm going to say something, but from of a bunch of Italians and have some people lose their fucking skulls. But Bobby D was overrated. And every role he played was the same guy he played in every fucking role.
That's pretty much every famous Ginzo, but yes.
And dude, now you find out after Crazy Days and Nights that he's paying for Roman Polanski's fucking legal bills because he told Roman to go bang that underage girl over at Jack Nicholson's house, and he feels bad about it, so he pays all the legal fees. And it's true because he only names the names if he has concrete proof that's true.
It's fucked up, man. All the people we grown to love most of them are fucked. And
I won't give up Taxi Driver, dude. I won't fucking do it.
There's certain pieces of art you gotta.
Too good.
Yeah,
I mean, like good, dude.
It's too good.
When I'm in the
how good it is, they won't remake it. That's how good it is. It's so sacrilegious that they won't. Now, I just saw the trailer for the new Ghostbusters. Have you seen that?
No, the new Ghostbusters?
Yeah, it looks good, dude.
It's all the original cast?
No, they mixed it. They totally remixed it.
I think one of the kids is from Stranger Things.
It does have a Stranger Things vibe to it.
Yeah.
Totally.
I don't know. Not for nothing. Ghostbusters is Ghostbusters. And when they fucking tried to remake it with all the ladies this time, I was like, nah, man.
Dude, did you ever see him talking about it in front of them on a talk show, and he can't come and say anything other than they just keep trying. They don't give up in the movie. It's the best thing ever.
So they did such a horrible job of Ghostbusters remake that they're gonna remake it like 3 years later.
Well, and here's the thing: they did it. Listen, Leslie Jones is my friend, and I used to say following Leslie Jones is an education. You have to, you're going to learn something about yourself real quick because she's a murderer. So she's funny. She's my friend. You know, we don't talk. Well, some people blow up. You don't hear from them again. It's fine. But she's a murderer. But that, when you're like, we're going to make an all female ghost, but you just turn everybody off.
Especially
we're redoing Die Hard with Kristen Wiig.
Yeah, and it's just what? Nobody's buying into this.
No, I'm good.
Yeah, I mean, come on, and that it's a different time. That's
who hates that shit? Women. Women hate watching women do like shit they know women won't do.
It's true. Real women.
That's
not that bullshit. But yes, you're right.
And then they got like DC Comics has that fucking kid from fucking the werewolf vampire movie playing Batman this time.
No, shut the fuck up.
Swear to God,
DC stands for don't come to the movie. That's what it stands for.
The Twilight.
No,
Twilight Zone.
Yeah, bro, Twilight Batman.
Were you a Twilight Zone girl? That was back in the day.
You mean not Twilight Zone? Just drop the zone. Twilight.
I mean Twilight.
Oh, that kid.
No, I know what Sam's saying, but he's asking his girl if she likes it. She's like Twilight Zone. That's from the 60s.
That kid's Batman, bro. He's the new fucking Batman of all things.
Dude, Twilight Zone was good.
No, okay, everyone's getting a little confused. I know what Sam was talking about.
Not Twilight Zone.
Twilight Zone is amazing. Twilight Zone is amazing. That's a good show.
So
When you're coming
but
down
then
on-
they remake it and they make
No,
it politically correct, and nobody wants to see it.
No, not any kind of remake, but the original with the guy in the suit that talks really funny in
Yeah.
the beginning. That's some trippy shit,
imagine,
man.
if you will.
Imagine if you will.
Yeah, that guy's awesome.
Where a man who everyone thinks is gay is playing a lead in a movie that
Sucks dick, but is not gay. He just did it for meth.
Just did it for meth and pay.
That's it. And to hang out with tigers, man.
I mean, Clint is gay. For
Dude,
pay,
how
but we're
about
not gonna talk
Nicolas
about
gay
Cage
for
is
tigers.
playing? They're doing a movie about the Tiger King.
it. Yes, I heard about this. This is
Hey.
the best news ever.
Do you think Nicolas Cage called them and was like, "Yo, I
No,
want to
Nicolas
do-
Cage was already filming a thing that was dressed as that, and they were just like, yeah, well, we're just gonna use that footage.
Well, let me just tell you, I'm happy this is happening because I feel like this generation of kids never got to understand the magic and the power of Nicolas Cage's hair pieces. Like that was half the reason you watched the movie to see if he could pull off his hair. You're like, dude, that doesn't look real, but it's staying on, and I'm buying into it, right?
Con Air?"
The only book.
Everything was bad, dude. I wish the one movie I wish they would remake and do it like give it to like Quentin Tarantino is like Ghost Rider. Like that would be the shit.
Oh yeah, Henry's a big comic book guy. He's right. Like
Yeah,
that needs to be redone.
There are certain movies, all of the that's the problem now that Disney owns all of Marvel. But like a lot of the anti-hero characters would make the best fucking movies if they were just done right. How many times do you have to make the Punisher fucking awful before they finally got it right?
Is there a
And
movie that they
shit was
shit the
amazing.
bed, but they got it eventually?
Okay, so
No.
when they initially
Who makes a
with
sequel
Deadpool.
to a
No, he's
Shit
right. Hold on.
show.
Let Henry. This is
when-
Henry's
yo,
shit.
when they introduced Deadpool in Wolverine, it was they fucked it up so bad it wasn't even funny. It was like, how the fuck can you take an iconic character like that, albeit he's more like a cult hero character. He's not he's not a Superman or whatever. Fucking lick
That's
your balls.
fine.
But then when they made the Deadpool movies with fucking Ryan Reynolds, it was just like, yo, home fucking run. It's like, this
Yeah.
is exactly how it's supposed to be.
That guy
Per
is
fucking fection.
peak human being right there.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And he
You guys,
crushed-
have you ever heard of a comic named Brett Ernst? He's a buddy
No.
of mine.
All right.
He's a really great comic. I
Oh,
always say
comic.
he's,
All right.
he's Brett Ernst comic. He's a really great comic, and
Okay.
I always say he's a good-looking guy with ugly people problems, right? And that's why it feels like Ryan Reynolds thing, like something ugly happened to him back in the day, because that dude is too good looking to be that quick.
I got you. I thought you were talking about a comic. I'm like, wait, I never heard of that comic book.
That'd be the
Oh.
weirdest comic book.
I was like, wait, that's not even a cool name.
Dude, what do you got? I got Avengers. What do you got? Batman. What do you got? I got Brett Ernst.
Yeah, I was like, wait,
Yeah.
what?
Brett
Sorry.
Ernst, mild-mannered citizen.
exactly.
What's
That's
his
like
special power?
Comic by
Literally
night. Fucking no, stand up
Yeah.
comic by night, superhero by day. Like that'd be the worst superhero
Yeah.
ever,
Yeah.
fighting crime in the daylight.
he's just like
Yeah.
nothing ever happens.
He's a good looking comic that just
What's his ability? He's decent at math.
No, he's
Pull
like
out. Does he get any of the waitresses at the club pregnant?
his talent is he just shoots fake loads.
He's a
Oh,
he's a
shit.
shill for scungil salad like Romanucci.
Everybody's a shill. Everybody's a shill.
Everybody
See that
knows.
guy? He's a fucking shill.
Yeah.
Hey, so
Oh
did
my
you always want to be a comedian?
Dude, this is the God's honest truth, and it sounds like the cheesiest thing you'll ever hear. But the moment I knew I existed in the universe, I wanted to be a comic.
really.
So like at 3 years old or whatever.
For the
your
moment,
first-
before I even knew there was a term for it.
So what were you like? You're just like, I need to make people laugh.
I remember, like, this is how old I am. When we had door-to-door salesmen, they would come in and try to sell my mama like a fucking vacuum, and I would be like throwing down the banana and acting like I was falling. Like I was, I mean, my friend, I haven't seen her in decades, but Brandy Turnbull used to talk about in kindergarten. I would get up and tell jokes on the desk. I won class clown in 6th grade and class clown as a senior. I literally only went to high school to win class clown. I can't read. I'm functionally illiterate. I can function illiterately, and I'm just always.
So when was the first time you got up on stage?
Well, I went to UNLV, and I went to UNLV for a couple reasons. One, my dad did a psyop on me for a very long time. He convinced me to move to Vegas. He's like, dude, you got to get out upstate New York. Go to Vegas, baby. Vegas is where you need to go. And I was like, oh, Vegas sounds good. Yeah, you got to go. It turned out my dad wanted me to buy a house so he could fly out all the time and write off in his taxes and gamble all my fucking inheritance away. So I go there because one, I thought, oh, Vegas, that's entertainment. That's where I could start stand up. I knew I wanted to do stand up. I didn't know what it was.
Okay.
Like I'd see it on TV, but I didn't know how to do it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm gonna move to Vegas. So I went there because stand up, my dad, and then because I'm half Armenian, Jerry Tarkanian and the Running Rebels. Yes. Were huge. And I'm like, I'm half Armenian, dude. I'm going to go and hang out with Jerry Tarkanian. And so I went there. And at the time, it was one of the worst comedy scenes in the world. I mean, it was one open mic every other week. I didn't even know what stand-up was. I saw improv comedy class. I thought, oh, that's stand-up. So I went to go do improv. And so a guy in improv, his name is Isaac. Victor Isaac is his name. He's like, dude, you're really funny. You should try stand-up. So I remember the first joke I ever wrote in about, I'd say, 92 was women give hand jobs like they're trying to start lawnmowers. That was my first joke I ever wrote. And it crushed. I remember crushing. I'm like, I'm the chosen one, right?
How old are you?
How old are you? I was 22 years old. And then the next week, I came back and bombed, and I was just like chasing the dragon, dude. Just chasing the dragon.
Isn't it weird? Comedy kind of does that, I feel like. Your first set or two set, I mean, I guess nobody comes back if your first one's total fucking shit show, but I feel like your first couple are okay, and then you hit like the hole.
Well, you know what's interesting about stand-up is when you're killing and then suddenly you're bombing in your developing stage, it tends to mean you've outgrown your material and it's time to take another jump. And it's like you got to abandon what you're doing there and you got to try to go a little deeper into like you go in jiu-jitsu, you go from beginner's class to like, okay, dude, you're ready for like intermediate class before you get to expert. So you got to jump up in competition, jump up into how you do comedy, and then you move into that. So you'll go these things, you're like, oh man, I'm just fucking bombing. And then that means because you're kind of grown past your material. That's my opinion.
That's a good, I always used to say to people, I rode dirt bikes for a living. And I would always say to people, everyone's afraid of a plateau. And I'm like, you don't want to sit there, but a plateau is what was once your best becoming your average. Yes. And it's kind of like what you said. Like you reach a point where you're not, those jokes aren't doing you justice anymore. And you need to like rewrite because you're a bet. Like I always like to go back and try to rewrite jokes or write new. You should always feel like your newest jokes are your best because you are a better comedian now than you were before.
Well, the cool thing is like, I've never written a joke. I don't write jokes. Really? I talk to myself all day, and everything is stored in my head. And it's the worst way to do it, but it's how I do it. I wish I could sit down, right? But when I do that, it takes away like the passion of the bit, the energy of the bit, and how new it is. So I can't overthink a joke. I can't do that. So I like to go up there with pieces and then just riff on it and riff on it and riff on it. And I've been doing it so long that I can actually take a step outside of me talking about it and kind of listen to me as I'm saying it and like self-edit as I'm going. Okay, that didn't get laughed.
You
Next
and
time,
I-
pull that.
no,
out.
But that makes sense. Man.
You write the most like, or I write the most like you out of anybody I've ever heard explain it. Because
Yeah, that's exactly kind of what Clint. You always tell. I ask Clint a million questions about it, and that's kind of what he tells me.
I can't write out, like, if I write out a joke in the beginning, I started, which I'm only like 3.5 years in or something. In the beginning, when I would write a joke out, I would read it and read it and read it and read it, and I would get on stage and I would automatically edit the fuck out of it, and it wouldn't even be the same joke as when I wrote it, but I would automatically, just so you said, self-edit. I'm like, no, that line's too long. Just clip it and just get to the meat of it.
I always say that to people. It's like when new comics are doing comedy, they want to, you want to have 15 minutes. Like, I got 15. I'm like, you got 5. You got 7.
Yeah.
But you're filling in 15.
Yeah.
And the only way you're going to get to the next level is being honest and cutting. And it's like Steve Hofstadter said something really good. He said that treat words like money, and you want to spend the least amount of money as possible.
Yeah.
This guy named Orny Adams, who's like probably a psychopath.
But he's amazing, dude. I saw him when I was at the store with you. I saw if you look at my notes when I was at the first time I was at the Comedy Store, the first thing it says is Orny Adams.
Orny Adams has every line to every other line is a joke. Now, when you're doing more mainstream type comedy, that's much easier. But, so there's these things you got to do if you're going to go into some more deeper, darker stuff. You have to do some jokes where you basically set credibility up front. And after a little while, then they'll kind of come with you. My style of comedy, I call it gator roll, okay? That's kind of how I do comedy. I do a gator roll, okay? And what I do is I start really simple at the beginning, dude. Back in the day, man, I used to love to bury myself and crawl myself out of a hole. I used to think that was so much fun. But now it's like, okay, I've gone through some things in my life. I don't want to do that anymore. So now what I do is a gator roll, okay? And if you watch how alligators kill prey, they start very simple at the top. They grab the animal, and then they slowly pull it down into the dark, deep waters and drown the motherfucker.
Yep.
That's my comedy. I start very simple. It's very easily digestible shit. Sometimes I'm like, I can't believe that's my own. Like, I have this bit about, like, I live in LA. LA's pretty dangerous. LA's so bad, it's been in Grand Theft Auto twice, right? So, like that, boom, I'm right into it. I get a laugh, and then I'm just doing simple shit. But then, we're about 5-6 minutes in, I start peppering them with the weird shit. And then by the end, they're laughing at, like, the time my friend who had cancer told me that she had cancer. And I'm like, well, anything you need, just ask. She's like, can we have sex? Literally, that happened to me. This chick got cancer. She's like, I need dick. And I'm like, and everyone gets quiet. And I'm like, I can't help it if I'm somebody's Make-A-Wish, you motherfuckers. And but you can't open with that because that goes wrong whole right out the gate. Yeah. You got to start simple and then get into the murky darkness. You got to, because here's the thing, dude. The great comics talk in the same cadence and style the whole time. Mm-hmm. Because what you're doing is everybody's syncing up, dude. And you're all thinking like one person. You're like the board. That's what you do. And it's the weirdest fucking thing. And you don't know how it happens. But everybody from all these different wakes of life, you get everybody synced up. And that's why when you stumble on the word, well, everyone wakes up. Got to put it back under it. And you got in the rhythm.
Sam, it's so crazy you just said that, man. Because I don't know, Henry, if you remember this. When Sam was there at the dojo at Tiff's East, I said that to either you or somebody in the room. I said, do you see, this is a real motherfucking comic. I said, he's got everyone locked the fuck in. Yeah. Exactly what you said, Sam. I go, he's got everyone under his fucking hypnosis. And people were just, and it was this cool thing. And then other greats after you came, that a lot of the ones that you've sent, and I would watch that. It's like a hypnosis or a trance or whatever you want to call it. And everyone's kind of just waiting, watching, and then it's like a wave. Boom! Yeah, you're riding it, and then boom, the whole fucking crowd erupts. It's so fucking cool.
And that's why when you stumble, you just got to take a step, breathe, and just get back into it. And this is also something when you follow somebody, right? When you follow somebody who just annihilated the room, you kind of just got to take that vibe and just bring them down to your vibe, man. You know, match them. Like there's this guy, Rick Ingram, at the Comedy Store. He fucking murders in the main room. And like, you got to walk out, man. You got to take that energy and bring it into you. Some guys, you can just follow it. Some dudes, you know, you got to fucking just know you're going to get them, man. It's just going to take time. You just got to breathe, man. Like when Joey Diaz gets done performing, for the first 3 minutes, you are Charlie Brown's mom. You're like, wah, 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 because they're like, no, just say Joey killed Joey. Joey's our God. We love to murder people for Joey. And you're just in that moment, dude. And you just got to be like, these 3 minutes, I'm just buying time.
It's so true.
Calm down, and they realize there's another murderer on stage. You know, you just got to take your time, dude.
That is fucking true. Go ahead.
Like you were saying, I also, same thing, just write a premise down and then go on stage with premise. Once every week or 2 weeks at an open mic, I go in with solely premises. There's not anything written out, and I go up there, and sometimes I'll just state the premise, and I'm like, this is not even a joke yet. This is just, and then
the best thing I ever did was start this show called Broken Simulation, even though it's the smallest of all it's now my second one, biggest one, and it's like it's got some people. I'm like, my problem is my all my best friends are the Mount Everest of this thing, so I get kind of like but I'm very happy with where it is and it's growing. But I basically have to come up with 5 things to talk about at the beginning of the show, and if I can get every week, if I can get one of those to hit, that's all I need. So by the end of 52 weeks, that's just a minute.
Yeah.
You know, a minute. So it's like, and the best thing is, man, these kids have I've been running and gunning since I was 18 years old, dude. Coke, fucking dark places, doing shady shit, man. I shine in the darkness, dude. Yep. It's like, that's all I'm all about. And I love to talk about, but then you get in front of these people, they're just like, I got married at 19 and this is all I know. And you're like, so you're doing coke on this girl's asshole, right? And they're like, what do you get to, So I never had this relatability shit.
I realize I relate.
He fits in so perfect with this crew.
I relate to Sam's everything.
Fits so perfect with this crew. Comedy. We have guests on sometimes, and then we'll ask them something. They're like, what? I go, okay, let's talk about something else.
Some people are just normal people.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
It's crazy. But we grew up loving, like, we hear like Richard Pryor, like, I smoke crack. Everyone's like, oh my God, he's so brave with his truth up there. You know?
Brilliant.
So you're like, I did coke on chick's ass. What?
Yeah, but they love Richard Pryor, but they're not about that life.
No, nobody is. Like, but here's the whole thing. These social justice warrior industry people, they'll be like, Sam Kennison, dude, I love George Carl. They'll like all this shit. And then they're like, the comics they actually push are just like, they do not like, dude, I'm an outlaw. I love outlaw shit. I used to love, like, dude, I grew up in the Syracuse, New York area. And that was Orangeman country, but I loved Patrick Ewing, Hoya Paranoia, dude. Like, I used to watch, I just tuned in just for the start to watch him walk in and get booed. And I was like, oh, dude, that's got to feel great. It's like, you're stealing their souls, man. And just, that's why I didn't stand up for the longest time. I was just like, I just wanted to be punk rock and piss everybody off. Yeah. And, these suits, they became too powerful. And they were picking and choosing. They were actually telling you, this is what you're going to do. And if you didn't do it, you didn't work. And I feel for comics who tried to do what I did way back in the day. And they just, like, the industry was like, go fuck yourself. Because there was no like internet to do to find your group, man. It's like the beauty of life is that, like, the world is a Reddit, and you just got to find your subreddit.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Listen, I know we're getting close with time, but a couple of things, Sam. If I could ask you 2 more things.
We started late, bro. So
one, I just want to, if you had to tell some comic out there or some person out there that hates their fucking life, hates their job, what's the first step just to say fuck it and take that jump out of the matrix?
Well, first of all, it's just like, you know what? It's like the internet is the underground railroad to freedom, dude. And it's just like there are so many people on the internet that have amazing lives, not a lot of talent. And the difference between the haves and the have nots is that the have nots tried. And every single comic you ever saw bombed, bombed 1,000 times before they got good. Even the Chappelles and the Chris Rocks who hit at a very young age, bombed, bombed, bombed. And it just, you got to go through it. If it's worth it, go through it. And it's just like, listen, man, the, the, the price of success is failure. That's the price of admission. You have to fail. So just know everybody's failed. You see all these guys with these businesses that became billionaires, $1 billion businesses. It was like their 9th business, their 10th business, their fucking 100th business. It's all about failure. You know what, dude? It's like that guy said about a pregnant chick, how like entertainment is like a pregnant chick. You don't know how many times it took her getting fucked for her to get there.
Yeah.
Right. And that's just the truth, man. You don't know how many times she had to get fucked to become pregnant. And it's like that's success, man. And like,
that's
man,
fucking...
I learned very early that nobody got me. I mean, and I'm not just talking Hollywood, I'm talking like in life. I very much failed early, was cut from every team very early. And it just like, I just never ever listened to anybody. And then I just started and I applied to comedy, man. I got iced out very early, failed all out the gate. And some people like would look at me and be like, you're still a fucking failure. But I love what I do. I it's like I have a small group that appreciate me and appreciate my comedy. And and I feel like I'm just getting better. I feel like my comedy's getting better. I feel like my premises are getting better. So it's like I enjoy it, man. And this break has been great. I needed it. But now I'm starting to itch to get back, get on stage and fucking steal souls.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's true success, dude. That's true success. Like if you're happy what you're doing, you're paying your bills, you're feeding your family. That's it. All the extra shit, if that's what you want, hey, God bless you. If that's what you want. Listen, but it's all about being happy, doing what you're doing. I know so many miserable rich people. I know so many people that are so rich and are miserable during this quarantine. It seems like all of us who are just we're getting by and we're on our way. And not talking about Sam, but at least us three, we're getting there. And Clint, you know what I mean? No, but we're happy that we're all thriving in this. We're thriving. Every day I'm in my garden growing things. I'm baking breads. I'm doing shit. I'm thinking about stuff. Yeah, it's time to get back to work for sure. I'm getting back to work. We all want to get back because we got to work. But we've thrived. We're not crying. We're not sitting here. I mean, the world's a little dark. I'm not going to lie. I have a feeling, and this is what kind of segue into this next thing. I have a feeling this pandemic is going to keep. I don't know. What do you think, Sam? Do you think they're going to keep turning it on and just shelter people in place? I feel like that's what's happening.
I think what's going to happen, in my opinion, is that people are going to rise up and they're going to stop it. And then something else is going to happen and they're going to try to shut it down. And that's when things are going to get weird. So I don't know what's going to happen after that.
But we got to live in the moment, right? And just have the best of it. But yeah, I'm a little bit worried about that. I do think the people are going to rise up. And I honestly, I'm more worried about the blue states. California, New Jersey, where we are.
California's always been a leader. I don't know what we're doing right now. And I just wish that people would get out the trance. That's all I got to say.
Yeah. I agree, man. Clint, what were you going to say?
You wanted to say something, Clint.
I'm sorry,
I feel
Clint.
like you wanted to drop some knowledge.
Sorry, go ahead.
It's all right.
You forgot already. He's hit his head a couple of times on the dirt bike.
Yeah, I'm with you. I do that.
I'm sorry,
man. All the time,
dude. I appreciate you coming on, and honestly, a lot of the shit you said, especially comedy-wise, I relate to as far as how you write and stuff. I realized from writing that you have to learn stuff at your own pace and your own way. And just like you said, like it wouldn't be anybody I've heard that's like killers are like, you got to write your shit out and this and that. And I can't do it. So,
man, here's the thing about life, in my opinion, is that everybody's so worried about the destination, they don't enjoy the journey. And my
you have
journey
is the
has
journey.
honestly been a lot longer than a lot of other people. And whatever it is, I'm in a 3-bedroom house in the valley of Los Angeles with 2 baby girls and the girl I love. And it's like it's happiness, right? Listen, but I also gonna tell you something, brothers, is that you'll eventually gonna go through it in life, whatever it is. Okay. My through it was bombing in Montreal and then becoming a giant cokehead at the Comedy Store for about 10 years. That was my going through it. All right. But I went through it. And I'll tell you something, man. It's an amazing place to be because I know a lot of people who got everything very early. And when shit's the fan, they fucking crumble because they're not used to failure. And they're like, man, I bless on you 1,000 failures, 1,000 failures before you get the thing you want, because you'll learn you're not as good as your best and you're not as bad as your worst. And that's the beauty. And like, dude, it's those who fall down that get back up that really truly get to somewhere. And at the end of the day, man, when we all die, we'll be lucky if people talk about us 2 weeks after we're dead. Most people don't get talked about at all.
Yeah.
Like at all. I mean, Kobe, like, remember he was everything? Now it's like he was a blip in Michael Jordan's fucking thing, man. And that's a tragedy right there. And I'm not mocking, but man, if we would realize that the journey and the people we meet is the best part of the whole fucking thing, and like the stadiums playing, like, dude, I wouldn't want that, man. I know it sounds crazy, but I wouldn't want that, dude, because that takes a certain type of person and a certain type of like win at all costs. That is not how I want to live my life. I want to be the most authentic I can be and make the most dollars that authentic person can make. Okay. And then help people around me. Like, I love that. Like, that's more important to me because we're all going to take our last breath, man. Mm-hmm. And every dollar we ever made goes out with that last breath, man. Yep. Wow. What's the fucking what are you going to do? How are you going to affect those?
No, I agree. I've been around big action sports people and talked to them 5-10 years after their career, and they're just pumped that somebody's acknowledging them. And I'm like, this guy was the shit. And it shows you how fast the cycle is. And like you said, you have how many people get talked about years after their death by more than immediate family, like 0.0001% or something.
Yeah.
Talk to a 18-year-old, ask him what their thoughts on Johnny Carson is. And they'll be like, who?
Yeah.
And you're like, that was the Joe Rogan of fucking 30, 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Nobody gives a fuck.
No.
Yeah.
So, and that's like you were saying, enjoy the journey, because 90% of it is the fucking journey. Like, because somebody was talking about billionaires, and they're like, how did they become that? And I'm like, because the type of person that has the amount of motivation and hunger to become a millionaire is friends with people that are millionaires, and now they're 100 millionaires, and now they're still competing with them. And that's how that goes. You'll never be done.
Hey, dude, I know a lot of people, dude, that are very fucking rich and they're not very happy.
Yeah, me too, man.
The people I know with the most money are the least happy, because that's all they're about, is hunting the dollar all the time. You guys, did I turn into a robot for you too?
He's gonna turn into a robot. You're gonna probably turn into Adderall guy real soon too. Because when he turns into the robot, he's like,
you see,
I didn't say anything.
Sam's a professional. It took an hour for him to even acknowledge that I turned into a robot.
It was the first time.
It's happened like 2 other times.
See?
All right, well, I was trying not to laugh.
I seen you laugh before. Somebody started laughing before, and I was like, I'm roboting.
No way, man.
I was like, Sam's holding it together.
I will laugh at farts and dicks till I die. My kids say outrageous.
Farts and dicks. That's a great name of a podcast, by the way. Farts and dicks.
Yeah, I have to laugh. I'm sorry.
Dude, watching my baby fart is the most fucking holy shit ever moment. It's like it's such an event because they don't know how to do it all the time.
Yeah.
And they're gas and like, and then they're like, yeah. And you're like, yeah. And they're like, ah. You're like, yes. And everybody's happy.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Those are the little things.
Yeah, exactly, man. And that's what it all comes down to.
When you do comedy, this is my last thing.
Go.
Don't the comedy, man. Listen, we all have a voice, and some voices sell arenas. Some voices put 300 people in a room. But you got to do your voice. The most miserable fucks are business fucking comics who make business decisions, and they're very angry. Not all assholes, not all clean comics are assholes, but all asshole comics were clean. And that's just a fact, man. And you can get you across the board, man, because they made business decisions. Now there's people like Brian Regan, nicest dude in the world, because it's him. It's who he is. So there's nothing wrong with that. You got to be whoever you are, man. Whoever that is, fucking crank it, dude. Crank it as hard as you can, dude. Go hard in the fucking paint. And you dude, it's like fishing in the ocean, dude. You're not trying to catch certain fish. You're catching the fish that fucking like what you like, man. You just want to throw the net out and get as many people who are into what the fuck you do as you can, dude. Don't try to get every fish. Just get the ones that are into what the fuck you like.
I don't want the rest of them anyway, because I don't want to have to curb myself.
Dude, I mean, like,
these guys know they've seen me before. That's why I love following again Bob Levy, because Bob does 10 minutes. You can go on there and say whatever the fuck you can open. You were having that conversation before about lulling them in. Not after Bob. You can just whatever you want. You can open with.
Oh yeah, because you're not going to say anything that's going to offend them at this
He's
point.
already opened the room.
That's why Joe Rogan's so smart. He would bring Joey Diaz and Ari Shaffir. On the road, and by the time he got up, he could say anything he wanted. Nobody's gonna be upset.
That's how Levy is. I could open with fucking my rudest joke after Bob, and we were good.
Yes.
That's my whole thing. Go hard in the fucking paint, man. Make my life.
Well,
the only problem I have with the road is like when, like, I would do these certain clubs in Florida, and they would like always put me with this black comic that would flame through the room, but it wasn't my comedy. So I would have to fucking start simple and bring them into me. So there's been a couple guys where I'm like, it's like their Friday, I'm train spotting, and we're supposed to work. And what it is these comedy clubs are trying to double dip. They're paying these fucking headliners feature money, and then they're making me have to go up there and follow these guys. And I'm just like, now it's like, that's why I love doing fucking tinfoil hat shows. They come to see me and Eddie. Eddie doesn't want to go last. I'd let Eddie go last if he wanted to, but he doesn't like to. He likes me to go last. I've been doing it 25 years. He's been doing it for a shorter time. And we get along perfectly when he does his time. Sometimes he'll do an hour. I'm like, Eddie, I got to go up. We got another show. Oh, dude, I didn't know. And like he's really good at jiu-jitsu. He's also really good at I don't see the light jiu-jitsu too.
Henry, I'd like to see you light Eddie a couple of times. You fucking after the second time, you're like, I'm not lighting him again. I'm gonna get fucking killed.
The light is coming.
I don't like to make a thing with him because I love him so much. He's changed my life, and without him, who knows where this whole game would be. I'm blessed that like the fucking like the face of this movement outside of Alex Jones.
You're right, man.
Is like my best friend, and like I remember he did the first show. I'm like, dude, I want to do a conspiracy show. Come on over, and we just talked. And I remember I go to him. He goes, I go, welcome to Tinfoil Hat. He goes, what's the name of the show? I go, Tinfoil Hat. He goes, and he kind of didn't like it, but then later on he got it. It's like, we're NWA, dude. You know, you take the N-word back, you take tinfoil hat back. What are they going to hold on to you?
Yep.
Fuck yeah.
And people that don't like it that search it end up finding you. You know, like
you know exactly what it is.
You know what you got. Not like no carnival parking, but that's okay.
I love it.
That's perfect. Let me tell you this, Sam. Now that we've had this whole conversation, which you've already been to TIFFs, but we'll have a good show because I think we'll have a bunch of minded comedians to just fuck up the room. And I learned, from Bob, you got to let everybody know that we're having fun, and everybody you come along on this ride with us. We're gonna have fun.
The biggest thing I ever learned is the darker the fucking joke, the bigger the smile.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you'd be amazed that, like, I used to watch myself. I was so angry on stage. I'm like, oh, that's why they're weirded out. I look like I'm fucking ready to fucking jump in the crowd, start swinging on people. So I'll do this like fake kind of smile at them because we're just all monkeys with shoes on, dude. Like Bill, just like we're just monkeys with shoes. So we have to signal to them that I'm having fun, and then they laugh too. It's actually a cheat code to do. Comics laugh at their own jokes. That's a cheat code.
See, I have to talk to people and make them think this is our conversation, and then like walk them into a joke.
It's perfect, dude. That's actually some black belt shit that like get your crowd worked into bits so they don't know it's a bit.
Yeah, exactly.
That's some black belt shit.
Because otherwise they just stare at me and hate me.
I do clumps. Man. I throw stuff. Oh yeah. You know what's so funny? It's like I used to really think like that, and then, what else it is like you're kind of like me. You have some darker features. We're not like Fluffy who walks up, who's like a thick dude and a fucking. And dude, Fluffy's great. That's not negative him, but you know who he is when he's walking up.
And he's not threatening. He's
I look like a day walker, right?
Exactly.
There used to be this area in San Francisco called the Tenderloin. It's where all the scumbags were, and I would like just walk at night by myself. Nobody would fuck with me because I look like a fucking vampire. Like I was on the corner one time, this tranny hooker and her pimp in a Datsun were like screaming at each other over fucking money, and they just let me sit there because they didn't want to fuck with Blade over here, who's a fucking shady fuck. But it's like that. It's a blessing to walk at night, but it sucks when you walk on stage because we're like, I do a joke about it. It's like I call it oppression math. Like people do oppression math as you walk to the stage, and the more they think you've been impressed, the more shit you could talk.
Yeah,
that's also like if they know what you look like that's a problem with comedy too. It's like I know what people's acts are now walking the stage. And I don't blame them. Like, for me, dude, you know what the best sign of a great comic is? And I'm the only one who thinks this. If a comic can wake up the next day looking completely different, could they rock? If Bill Burr woke up as a fucking Asian lesbian, he would still throttle motherfuckers,
100%.
right?
Yeah.
Dude, I've said it.
If I woke up as a fat black, I would crush, dog.
Yeah.
Crush.
Yo, I've said
He's on the stage, fat black, and I'm like, "What's up, dog? I quit fucking coke." So now what I do is I get a bunch of Plan B, I crush it up, I give the chicks, they do rails of Plan B, and I blast inside them. Black Sam saying that, crush fest, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. 5 foot Pakistani Sam saying that. Crush,
right?
Crush.
Dude, imagine if you were a black Latino.
No, the peak of it, dude, is
transsexual,
a fat black gay midget.
But they gotta have Down syndrome.
Like Beetlejuice.
Special need midget, black Puerto Rican.
I mean, dude,
so
that's my joke. Kevin Hart's only 2 of those things. Look how fucking
yeah, that guy hangs out with the fucking Rock. I mean, geez, this guy's killing it.
Dude, I want to throw that dude on my fucking keychain and just throw him at people when they attack.
That's what the Rock
he's got to be some kind of like good luck charm or something.
Well, I mean, back to conspiracies, and I got to go.
Yeah.
Dude, how does Kevin Hart crash his car, sever his spine, call himself back to his house, call the cops, and then fucking like 6 months later is doing deadlifts?
Let's call Tommy G. Bring in the clones.
Bring in the clones.
See, I think that they used all the medical technology that they actually have and put them back together. Because racers will crash their dick off, fucking be hurt, and ride like 2 weeks later. And I'm like,
could be those
smoking
No, the craziest
smoking
one
stem cells.
how do we pull that off?
is Cam Newton flipping his car, breaking his back, and
Yeah,
he's playing
right?
football 2 weeks later.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I forgot about that one.
Dude, why don't we remake that, man? The $1 Million Man?
Yeah, I
The-
forgot about that.
the
And they look like
black
Mary
version?
Poppins like 2 weeks later.
Yo, this is my type of conspiracy shit getting hurt. Why don't as soon
Oh,
as
the
you
$500, man.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they want. As soon as you get hurt and get surgery, why do they not pump you full of stem cells? I had surgery on my shoulder, my hip, my leg, blah blah blah. Nobody ever was like, after this surgery, we're gonna give you stem cells and you take these vitamins. I had one.
You weren't
doctor,
Travis Pastrana.
I had one doctor. Yeah, exactly. I had one doctor ever be like, listen, no tobacco, no this, no that. You need to take these vitamins. But he still didn't offer me stem cells.
Was George Bush the president?
Yeah, but what about
Yeah.
PRP?
Well, George Bush made that shit illegal.
What
PRP.
is George
Getting
Bush
late.
your
George
doctor?
Bush hates black people.
Yes,
PR
and motocross people that crash.
PRP.
Motocross is the black people of X Games. I don't know if you know that.
Because we have the biggest balls and dick, or what? What is it?
That's the biggest dick and the worst credit.
PRP, platelet-rich plasma, is just your blood spun,
Yes,
and then
spun.
they pull. So, like, they didn't even offer that.
You're
Well,
not
it
going to
sounds
offer
like-
that.
Like you got your medical shit from a food truck. That's what it sounds like.
How about this, Sam? I had a surgery on my neck when I was 25 or 26. So this is 2005, 2007. Where I had two herniated discs. No, one herniated disc and two bulging in my neck. And they went through my neck with a needle that emitted sound waves and shrunk the discs down and released the pressure. Nobody still knows about this fucking surgery today. This was 15 years ago.
I'm with you, dude. It's like they don't really want to cure anybody
They
of
don't.
anything.
They want to get
They
you into
just
the
want to make
cycle.
money off you, and it's just like it's time for an uprise, like that one gentleman says on the show. Man, it's time for an uprise, and I gotta go because they got an
Yeah.
Okay,
uprising
yeah.
here with a chick with big mammies.
Sam, thank you so much, brother.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you guys. We'll do it again soon.
Guys,
No
thank you
problem.
so
I
much.
I love doing your show, and we'll do it again.
Thanks,
Thank
Sam.
Thanks,
you.
Sam.
Great to
Thank you.
meet you.
Appreciate it, brother.
guys. We'll talk soon.
Keep it going so we can shout out where Sam is. Where you can find him.
Get
Guys
outta
can find
here.
him
We're
at
gonna talk-
Tinfoil Hat.
Oh, he left. Tinfoil
He's got
hat.
he's got the popular podcast Tinfoil Hat. Check him out. He's on the road all the time. The
And his
Swarm. We
site?
thank you all for coming.
Broken
What's up?
Simulation. His site.
Broken Simulation is his site. Broken Simulation is his YouTube channel and podcast. It's hilarious. If you guys haven't checked it out, please check out Broken Simulation on YouTube. It's fucking the greatest new show on YouTube. Thank you so much to the Swarm. Anyone who came out to check it out, thank you so much. Anyone watching, please like and subscribe. If you like it, if you hate it, give us a like, give us a review, please. It means the world to us, and thank you. Guys, also some big news coming. Big news is coming soon.
Oh,
Check out all. Go ahead. Glenn.
well, first, the website is up.
Yes.
I forgot what it is now.
Freethinker.
Freethinker.tv is up. It's basically like it captures all of our sites. All of our podcasts. No Carnival Parking is on there. You can find it. You can find the Clint files, where basically I talk about what we just talked about with Sam. Why, like natural pain killers, all that type of shit. Like, why aren't we doing all that stuff? And also Two Wheels to Freedom, which is a dirt bike podcast, but I think you get what my deal is. So we talk to dirt bikers, drink with them, and try to suck them down the rabbit hole every once in a while. What were you saying, Mike? You got a teaser for a podcast.
Yeah.
Mike's own podcast coming up. It's not out yet. We're not going to drop the name. So
Yeah. So I got a podcast coming out where it's not going to be as crazy. As much as I love this hang with my boys, I got a podcast coming out where we're going to just start talking to some other thinkers out there and just start talking about all kinds of crazy shit, whether I agree with it or not. Doesn't matter if I agree with it. I'm just I want to hear people's opinions. I want to see what's
Explore
out
it.
there. And,
explore it. Be a free thinker.
and Henry's going to have a podcast soon.
about music
We'll have a podcast soon,
and or
but-
beer.
And it will be
No,
on
just
there.
stay tuned for my live DJ sets before, after our
Yes.
usual shows and etc. And yeah, you can catch me on No Carnival Parking, and this is where you can hear me.
Especially
So,
especially once we're in the studio. Hint, hint.
Very soon.
People, we're gonna
yeah,
get back
then
in
I
the
then I
studio.
can have some real fun.
We're gonna
Yeah.
get back in the studio and Yeah. Mike is Real Junebug. See, you made your Instagram handle really difficult. I'm just Clint Esposito on everything. If you want to find me personal, Clint Esposito on everything. You can find links to all my stuff. Real Junebug.
Yep, that's me.
Is
Instagram
Mike
handle
on Instagram, and on Instagram, Henry is Crate Keepers.
Crate, like milk crates.
CrateKeepers.
Yes, Crate
Yep.
Keepers.
You never
can
know,
just
'cause
you can just call me Crates.
my
Crates.
My spelling is
Crates.
terrible. So
There we are.
This has been fun, man. This was great. Sam took us to fucking church today.
Yeah, man. Thank you, everybody. Join us next week. We're gonna have 2 more guests on. We don't plan that far ahead because, like you saw this week, it got pushed back. But that's what it is. So later.
Yeah. Bye bye.